Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a haul video for you. Most of the items that I'll be showing you, I actually already have dedicated videos to them, and what I have started doing recently is for haul videos and favorites, if there is an existing dedicated video, when I link the items below in the description, I will also put a link to the video so you guys can check that out if you're interested. So we'll first get started. At the beginning of the month, I added more brushes to my Japanese brush or fude collection, and this is what I purchased here. So I have this brush, which is from Koyudo. It is their BP 13 brush. It's meant for foundation, but as you can see, I've used it for both foundation and powder blushes. It works amazingly well for both. When it comes to powder blushes, because of the size and the way the hairs are bound together, you can get a very soft color payoff and have it just applied and shaped just like this very easily. And then for the foundation part of it, you can get a very sheer and easy application. Because of the size of this brush, you can complete your foundation application pretty quickly here. This is made of undyed goat hair, and the BP series, from what I understand, is going to be retired. So I'm going to definitely get more of these BP brushes as I can while they're still available. The other two brushes that I got are also from Koyudo. These two are from the Fupa line, and I think arguably the Fupa line is Koyudo's most popular brush line, which they have retired many of the Fupa brushes, particularly the ones made up of natural goat hair. So this small little brush here, it is so cute. It's meant for blending concealer in small areas where you need the detail and control. I've used this for under eye concealer and working these really, small areas. I found that this brush, compared to the other concealer brush I use, this is from Sonia G, is that I prefer for under eyes the Sonia G brush. This has too much give for what I'm trying to just like pounce it in and really get it to meld into my skin. This has enough kind of force, pushback to do that effectively. This has too much give. However, this is extremely good at these really small areas here. Because if I use something with a bigger or flatter surface, and this is angled as well, and I work at these areas, I'll get concealer on my lips. And maybe in the grand scheme of things, after you apply lipstick or finishing powder and then lipstick, it doesn't really matter, but sometimes it does, and I find this very handy for those occasions. It diffuses the concealer and blends it into the area, but it doesn't spread it. And that just might be what you need. I think for smaller blemishes too, it's very helpful. This is also made with synthetic fibers. The next brush I have here is meant for mineral foundation, also comes in its own box, very cute. This is the Fupa number 3. It is also made up of synthetic fibers. It's very soft and very dense. The top here is completely flat and uniform. I don't have mineral foundation, so what I've used this for is setting powders, finishing powders, and liquid foundation. A viewer has actually let me know that they love using this brush with liquid foundation, so I've tried that. I still haven't found the perfect use for it for me. I find that with the powders and liquid foundation, there's too much heavy contact with the skin. And as I'm moving the product around with powders, I feel like it's moving my foundation as well. And the coverage that I get, it looks fine. The makeup still lasts. There's, nothing terrible it happened with using this brush, but it doesn't look as blended in as it could be. And it could be because it's just moving some of that product underneath. when I used it or tried it with liquid foundation, I felt like it was moving the foundation as I was spreading it on my face. And it doesn't work as well for me as my other Fupa foundation brush. And this is the number 13, Fupa 13 small foundation brush, where you kind of just pounce it on, drag, pounce it on, drag. Excellent coverage. You can take a light to medium foundation coverage and turn it into medium coverage with this brush. And also the BP13 does a better job as well. So maybe I just prefer undyed goat hair for my foundation application. So I will continue to look for opportunities to try this. I do love how the Fupa brushes, there's a line of them, a series of them, that just kind of sit flat on the vanity. Adorable. And I'm quite sad that the Fupa line, most of them have been discontinued, especially the goat hair versions. Next, Pat McGrath took from her vault these Liquid Lust lipsticks. And I was not into, or actually didn't even know about Pat McGrath in 2017 when these first came out. This is in the shade Wild Orchid. I love it. Beautiful, that deep berry shade. And then here I have Divine Rose. So Divine Rose is a new shade. Wild Orchid, I believe, was available back in 2017, but one is more mauve-y and one is a deep berry shade. Beautiful. These two liquid lipsticks are matte. They are truly matte. They are fairly long lasting. Not transfer proof, but you could have sips of water, a meal, and you would still have a good amount of product on. I have worn this with a mask over top too, and there is a little bit of transfer, but it's not going to be nearly the same as what transfer would be like with a satin lipstick, or you know what I have on here, a high shine lipstick from Chanel. Along with the two Liquid Lust lipsticks, I also grabbed the new highlighter. This is in the shade Divine Rose. It's part of her Divine Rose 2 collection that she released earlier this year. It's beautiful, and I do think I enjoy this highlighter more than the highlighter she released last fall with her Celestial Divinity collection. Yeah, it's because of that peachy pink. And it's still subtle enough that you could wear kind of on all the high points of the cheeks and still not look like now you're too shiny. So I really like that. The shade is also very flattering. Then we have the long-awaited, or for me it felt like a long time, the long-awaited Hermès lipsticks. I bought 2 of the 3 limited edition spring summer shades. This is Rose Oasis, and this is Beige Ébloui. Beige Ébloui. If you're looking for your first Hermès lipsticks, you're not sure what to get, you want to get something you're gonna be able to wear often, this is it. I have not heard anybody who got the shade and didn't like it. It's so flattering. It's brown, has pink in it. It just suits so many different skin tones, and it is so easy to wear. This is my favorite lipstick from them, and I'm even thinking of grabbing another one at the end of the season if there's still any in stock, just because this is my favorite so far. Rose Oasis, indeed, how bright it is. Rose Oasis, it's bright, hot pink, reminds you of spring, especially summer. They do also have a limited edition neon pink. So next to the neon pink, this isn't as bright as their shades can go. Between the two, I do think I prefer the neon pink more. You know, it's totally up to the person, but to me, if I'm gonna wear a bright pink lipstick, I think I prefer the neon pink, like an even bolder step that's what I would prefer. But this still, Rose Oasis, is a beautiful shade, and I've seen others wear it. It looks gorgeous on them. Next, I have something from Dior. Dior has just been on a roll, on fire with their makeup releases. Ever since they released the newly formulated Quince from last year, I feel like it hasn't stopped. You know, they might have had a break between, you know, all of the newly formulated Quince and Color Stories. They might have had a pause, and then they released their winter collection. That was a big hit. Soon after that, there were lipsticks, newly formulated lipsticks, and then a bunch of foundations before and during that same time. So anyways, it hasn't stopped, and it's not gonna stop because here I have this can work both as a finishing powder and a setting powder. I love this most as a finishing powder. When you see in here this glisten, you don't see it so much on my finger, like a little bit. You can see a little bit of it. It's very bright, this ring light. But when you kind of spread it out, diffuse it, it's not as noticeable. As a finishing powder, I get the added radiance, and I do have it on my face today. It's natural, so it's subtle, and on top of that, it actually has better oil control than my talc-free Chantecaille loose powder. That's amazing. You know, before using this or testing this powder as like a setting powder, I did not think about how my Chantecaille powder didn't have as much oil control as maybe it could have for like a matte makeup setting powder. So I am amazed. What I don't like about this as a setting powder is the foundation that I use to test this is Surratt's Dewdrop foundation. So it is like a luminous finish foundation. And I find that I can still feel the foundation after I apply this as a setting powder. So to avoid that, I just set it with my matte powder and use this as finishing. I love this. It gives me added oil control, more radiance, but none of that, I guess, tackiness that may come through with just using this as setting powder. So I love it a lot. This is in the shade 1N. I think in the summertime I could probably go 1 to 2 shades up. And if I wanted to try this product more, the next step would be getting a deeper shade to use as bronzer. But I really actually have come to enjoy this a lot. Then I picked up 4 shades from Chanel's new Coco Bloom lipsticks. These 4 shades, they range, but they're all pretty, I think they're all pretty easy to wear. I have Chance on today. So these are high shine lipsticks that are fairly pigmented. It's different from their Coco Flash formula. The Coco Flash formula is not as pigmented. These feel creamier, whereas the Coco Flash is more slick. Coco Flash, I think of it as a tinted lip balm more than anything else. So here is Chance. And I wanted to swatch it right next to the Hermès Beige Ébloui because there are some similarities. I think Chance has more of a brown undertone to it, but it's a very easy to wear shade. And I think it's the shade that catches people's eye too when they're, you know, looking for that nice go-to nude. Then here I have Dream. More pink, but you can see the pigment of these lipsticks. This is Marvel. Good amount of pink here. And then finally we have Radiant. This is the deepest shade that I picked up out of the 4. And just for a quick comparison, I do have 1 shade, Immediate, in the Coco Flash formula, so just swatch that. And there it is, right here. That is why I consider the Coco Flash as a tinted lip balm. Natasha Denona came out with a new palette this month called Circo Loco. It is inspired by circus or characters from a circus. The look that I have on today is using shades here. I put firework all over the lids and then I add a little bit of cotton candy in the crease here. It's just to buff out any seams. Then with a finger, I packed on Spiral towards like the middle of the lid. Then as I use the shade here, Magic, as my liner. And then I added a little bit, very light-handed, Electric to give this area a little bit of depth. And then finally added Aerial List as the inner corner highlight. So this, to me, this look is something I would wear during the day. It's not, I mean, it is dramatic because of the orange, the shade of the orange, but this is still, I think, suitable. If I was having any, very serious client meetings, then I would go for more subdued colors, but during a regular work day, this is something I'm okay with wearing. So this is what I would consider a bright day-to-day look. You'll see in the review video if you're interested. I do really love this palette. I talk about it in the review video, but this is just, the quality is excellent. The shades are so bright, all of them, whether they're light or deep, they just have such impact that if they were difficult to work with, I think that would really impede the experience with the palette. Not the case. Every single one of these, smooth, easy to work with, very pigmented. So I absolutely love this palette. And all of Natasha Denona's eyeshadows, and actually her lipsticks too. I'm not sure for all of her cheek products, but everything I own of hers, it's made in Italy. The eyeshadows all have a shelf life of 24 months, so really appreciate that consistency from her products. And the last item I have here is from Chanel. If the video is not up by the time the haul video is up, it'll come right after. But Chanel decided to reformulate all of their blushes. This caused some panic amongst the community. I have not tried Chanel blushes, so I don't really have any prior experience, but I was interested in finding out how the new is different from the old. So what I did is order 2 shades and then ordered them both in the new and the old formula. I'll just show you one of the shades here. This is Rose Petale, and this is in the old formula. It's also what I have on my cheeks. It's beautiful. These blushes, these Chanel blushes, are beautiful because of that subtle radiance it adds. Looks very natural, very subtle, applies easily, diffuses well. I have all of my thoughts of these Chanel blushes in my video, so if it's up, I'll have a link below. Definitely go check it out if you're interested. It's an interesting move by Chanel, to say the least. I do have a few more new makeup things coming from Dior that I'm very excited about, so I will definitely have that video for you guys when I receive them in the mail and get a chance to sit down and dedicate some time to it. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.